Welcome back to Warriors, the place where modern men learn how to navigate love, relationships, and life with strength, wisdom, and self-respect. Today, I want to challenge your perspective, because the truth is simple. If a woman isn't interested in you, she will show you through her actions, not her words. Too many men waste their energy chasing women who have already made up their minds, and in the process, they lose their dignity. I want you to think about this. If Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, could rule with calm discipline while the world fell apart around him, then why can't you rule yourself in the face of rejection? The signs are always there, but the problem is that many men are blinded by desire, fear of loneliness, or their own ego. They beg for crumbs of attention, when in reality, they should be walking away with their head held high. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 undeniable behaviors that women display when they are simply not interested. These truths may sting, but they are necessary because clarity is power. And when you learn to recognize these signals, you will stop wasting time and start investing in yourself. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Warriors, because here you will not only learn about relationships, you will learn about yourself. Keep your mind open, because what you hear today might just change the way you approach women forever. 1. Her silence speaks louder than words. The first and most powerful sign that a woman isn't interested in you is her silence. Men often underestimate silence because they want to believe that no reply means maybe later. But in reality, her lack of response is a response. Think about it. If she cared, if she was intrigued, if she was even a little curious about you, she would find time, even in her busiest day, to connect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In the same way, if a woman truly values you, she will not stay silent. She will act. She will speak. She will show you interest. Her silence is her truth. The tragedy is that many men, instead of respecting that silence, chase harder, write longer messages, call multiple times, and beg for her attention. In doing so, they turn their own value into dust. Why? Because chasing someone who doesn't value you is like pouring water into a broken jar. It will never fill. It will only drain you. Let me ask you something. Why should you keep pouring into someone who has already decided not to drink? The Stoics believed that power lies in control over yourself, not others. Epictetus taught that freedom is not achieved by fulfilling your desires, but by mastering them. When you learn to master your desire for validation from uninterested women, you will finally be free. Here's the hard truth. When she is silent, she is speaking. She's telling you that her energy, her heart, and her mind are elsewhere. Believe her. Stop trying to force what isn't there. The moment you accept silence as an answer, you reclaim your time, your dignity, and your masculine power. Remember, history is filled with men who ruined their legacy chasing after women who didn't want them. Don't become one of them. Instead, choose silence too. Walk away. And when you do, you'll discover something remarkable. Your silence, unlike hers, commands respect. 2. She makes excuses instead of effort when a woman is genuinely interested in you. She will make the effort. She will carve time out of her schedule, no matter how busy she is. But when she isn't, she will fill the air with excuses. "I've been busy. Something came up. Maybe next week." These phrases aren't reflections of her life. They are shields she uses to avoid you without directly confronting you. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Men, I want you to sit with this for a moment. How much time have you wasted waiting for a woman who always has an excuse? You convince yourself that one day she'll mean it, that her schedule will clear up, that she'll finally say yes. But deep down, you know the truth. If she wanted to see you, she would. There are men out there building empires, writing books, inventing technology. Yet you are stuck rereading a text that says, "Sorry, can't make it." Doesn't that sound absurd? Think of Epictetus, who taught that we should focus only on what we can control. You cannot control her excuses, her priorities, or her disinterest, but you can control where you place your energy. Every excuse she gives is not a delay, it is a decision. She is choosing not to invest in you. Why then should you keep investing in her? A man's power is not proven by how long he can wait for someone who doesn't care. His power is proven by how quickly he can recognize when his time is being wasted and walk away. I'll ask you a hard question. Do you want to be remembered as the man who waited around hoping, or the man who commanded respect by refusing to be strung along? The answer will define your masculinity. The modern world may trick you into thinking persistence is attractive, but persistence without reciprocation is not strength. It's self-betrayal. If she makes excuses instead of effort, the truth is clear. She is not interested. Stop listening to her words and start paying attention to her actions. Excuses are her way of telling you she has already chosen another direction. And just like Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. It is time you stop waiting, stop hoping, and stop lowering yourself. Walk away with dignity. Because the man who values his time is always more attractive than the man who begs for someone else's. 3. Her body language reveals the truth. Words can deceive, but the body rarely lies. When a woman is not interested in you, her body will reveal it before her mouth does. She may smile politely, but notice how she positions herself, leaning away, folding her arms, avoiding eye contact, checking her phone instead of being present with you. These are not small accidents. They are silent signals of disinterest. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If her thoughts are elsewhere, her body will be dyed with avoidance. She won't lean in, she won't linger, and she won't invite you into her space." Now let me ask you a piercing question. Why are you still chasing a woman whose very presence screams she would rather be anywhere else? Men fall into the trap of ignoring these signals because they are addicted to hope. They think, so maybe she's shy, or maybe she's just tired. But ask yourself honestly, if she was truly captivated by you, would she look distracted? Would she close herself off physically? Of course not. Think about great leaders in history, men like Alexander the Great. Do you think he would waste his time interpreting crossed arms and half smiles, or would he demand full attention and respect? A man who understands his worth does not decode weak signals. He walks toward where he is celebrated. Epictetus reminded us, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. If you already know she's just shy or busy, you blind yourself to reality. But when you humble yourself enough to see the truth, her body language will no longer confuse you. It will guide you. Watch how she reacts when you speak. Does she light up or does she fade away? Does she step closer or does she retreat? These are answers louder than any spoken word. Remember, attraction is not a puzzle you need to solve. It is energy, it is presence, it is unmistakable. If it isn't there, then nothing you say or do will create it. So here's the lesson. Pay attention not to what she says, but to how she shows up. If her body is closed, her heart is closed. And the man who respects himself doesn't chase closed doors. He finds the ones that open freely. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you step into true masculine power. 4. She never initiates contact. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she will not always wait for you to make the first move. She will text you, call you, or find small ways to connect. But when she isn't, the silence on her end will be deafening. If you are always the one starting the conversation, always the one reaching out, and always the one trying to keep the connection alive, then the truth is simple. She doesn't care enough to meet you halfway. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." B1. Apply that wisdom here. Waste no more time debating whether her lack of effort means she's busy, shy, or playing hard to get. Be the man who recognizes reality and acts accordingly. Ask yourself honestly, why are you trying so hard to build a bridge towards someone who never takes a single step in your direction? This is where many men fall into self-delusion. They think persistence is noble. They tell themselves, if I just try harder, she'll see how much I care. But men, let me tell you something raw. Effort is valuable only when it is reciprocated. One-sided pursuit is not love. It is self-abandonment. Seneca once warned against squandering time on people who do not value it, saying, "Nothing is ours except time." So why give your most precious resource, your time, to a woman who cannot even send a message first? If she never initiates, she is telling you something important. Her mind and her emotions are elsewhere. And yet, here's the tragic part. Many men confuse her indifference for mystery. They imagine that her distance makes her more valuable. But what could be more foolish than chasing someone who does not want to be caught? A woman who is truly interested will make it known. She will send you that good morning text. She will check in on you. She will find reasons to stay connected. So here's the mind-blowing question I want you to wrestle with. Do you want to be the man who constantly begs for crumbs? Or do you want to be the man who walks away and becomes the feast she regrets losing? The choice is yours, and the answer will shape the kind of man you become. Remember, Epictetus taught that happiness comes from focusing only on what lies within your control. You cannot control her silence, but you can control your response to it. Stop giving your energy to someone who won't give back. If she never initiates, it is not a challenge. It is a clear answer. Respect it and respect yourself. 5. She shows interest in other men, but not in you. One of the most undeniable signs that a woman isn't interested is when she freely displays her excitement, admiration, or affection toward other men, but remains cold or indifferent toward you. Pay close attention to this, because it can be one of the most painful realities for a man to accept. She may light up when another man enters the room, laugh at his jokes, or go out of her way to talk about him in conversations. Yet, when it comes to you, her energy is flat, her responses are short, and her interest is minimal. That contrast is not an accident. It's a truth she cannot hide. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself, "If it is not good, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Similarly, if her feelings for you are not genuine, she cannot fake them. You will feel the difference, and you must learn to respect it. Here's the harsh truth. Many men see this contrast and still lie to themselves. They tell themselves, "She treats me differently because she feels more comfortable with me," or "She only talks about other men because she wants to make me jealous." These mental gymnastics only serve one purpose: to keep you chained to false hope. But hope, when it blinds you to reality, becomes poison. Seneca once said, "It is better to conquer our grief than to deceive it." If you grieve the fact that she prefers other men, then grieve it honestly. But do not deceive yourself into thinking her disinterest is some kind of secret affection. Ask yourself this question: why are you fighting for the attention of someone who freely gives it away to others, yet withholds it from you? That is not selective love, it is selective disinterest. The moment you see her enthusiastic with someone else while being indifferent toward you, the decision is made. She has chosen where her energy flows. And remember, energy is never neutral. If she is investing it in another man, then she is deliberately choosing not to invest it in you. Think about Alexander the Great. He did not beg for loyalty. He inspired it, commanded it, and if it wasn't there, he moved forward without hesitation. Why should you, as a man of worth, beg for the attention of someone who does not value your presence? Every time you stay, you teach her that you are willing to accept less than you deserve. And what kind of man do you become when you accept scraps? Not a man of strength, but a man of weakness. Now here is the deeper layer. Sometimes, women will use this very behavior, openly showing interest in others while keeping you close, as a way to test how far you will go for them. They want to see if you will still chase, even when they disrespect you. This is not love. It is a game of power. And men who play this game always lose, because the more you chase, the more they pull away. Epictetus gave us a timeless principle. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The reality of her interest in other men may hurt, but your reaction defines your character. You can choose to cling to her indifference, or you can choose to rise above it. Imagine how differently your life would look if you stopped competing for someone who doesn't value you, and instead invested that energy into yourself, your goals, your purpose, your growth. Do you think Marcus Aurelius became emperor by begging for someone's attention? Do you think Seneca's wisdom was born from chasing women who ignored him? Number. Their greatness came from discipline, from self-respect, and from the courage to see reality as it is, not as they wished it to be. So here's your final test in this lesson. The next time you see her light up for someone else, don't get angry, don't get jealous, and don't chase. Instead, take it as a gift, clarity. She has shown you where her heart lies, and now you are free to choose yourself. The man who can walk away from unreciprocated desire is the man who commands respect wherever he goes. 6. She starts to disrespect your value. Disrespect is the clearest proof that a woman does not see you the way you want her to. Interest and respect always go hand in hand. When a woman admires you, she treats you with care, even in disagreement. But when she has no interest, you will notice her words cut deeper. Her tone becomes colder, and her actions show indifference toward your dignity. She may dismiss your opinions, roll her eyes at your thoughts, or laugh at your dreams. Some men ignore these signs, telling themselves, "She's just joking," or "She doesn't mean it." But the truth is this: consistent disrespect is never an accident. It's a reflection of how she sees you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." Now, let me twist that for you. The disrespect of one woman should never define your worth, especially if she has already decided she does not value you. Yet many men live as if the opposite is true. They treat her opinion as law, as if her lack of interest is proof that they are not worthy of love or respect. But men, your value is not defined by her approval. Think of Epictetus, born a slave, crippled, and without social status. If anyone had a reason to believe he had no value, it was him. Yet through discipline and wisdom, he became one of the most respected philosophers in history. What does that tell you? That value is never given by others. It is claimed by the man himself. And when a woman disrespects you, your response determines whether you stand as a man of worth or collapse as a man of weakness. Let me ask you directly. How many times have you tolerated sarcasm, dismissiveness, or outright rudeness because you didn't want to lose her? How many times have you swallowed your pride just to keep her around? Every time you do that, You train her to treat you with less respect. And here's the tragedy. You think you're preserving the connection, but in reality, you're destroying yourself. Seneca once warned, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." If your value is scattered, trying to please, trying to prove, trying to tolerate disrespect, you are nowhere. You are lost. The man of strength knows that disrespect is the final signal. When she disrespects you, she is telling you not only that she isn't interested, but that she doesn't even care enough to leave politely. That is your answer. History teaches us this as well. Julius Caesar, before crossing the Rubicon, had senators mocking him, undermining him, and trying to strip him of his dignity. What did he do? He drew a line and made a choice. Respect himself or remain under their contempt. He crossed the Rubicon, and the world changed forever. You too have a Rubicon moment in every relationship. When a woman disrespects you, will you keep accepting it, or will you draw your line and walk away? The raw truth is this: women may test you, but they do not stay with men they don't respect. If she belittles you, ignores your words, or treats you like a background option, it is not your job to convince her of your worth. It is your job to walk away and live in such a way that your worth is undeniable. The man who tolerates disrespect becomes weak. The man who demands respect, not with anger, not with desperation, but with calm action, becomes untouchable. As Epictetus taught, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself can overpower my free will." Your dignity is yours alone. Never give it away for the approval of a woman who has already shown you she doesn't value it. 7. She treats you like an option, not a priority. When a woman is truly interested in a man, he does not have to beg for space in her life. She gives it freely. But when she isn't interested, she will treat you like an option, a convenient distraction when nothing better is available. Maybe she only reaches out when she's bored, lonely, or needs something from you. She disappears for days, then suddenly reappears as if nothing happened. She's hot and cold, keeping you close enough so you don't leave, but never close enough to truly matter. And the painful truth is this: when you allow yourself to be treated as an option, you are telling her you don't deserve to be a priority. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Stop asking yourself why she doesn't choose you and start asking yourself why you continue to choose her, even when she has proven time and again that you are not a priority. That is where your power lies. She is not betraying you by treating you like an option. You are betraying yourself by accepting it. Think about how modern men waste their energy. They sit by the phone, waiting for her to reply, while she is out giving her attention to others. They cancel their plans the moment she texts, yet she cancels on them without hesitation. They fantasize about a future with her, while she doesn't even think about the present moment with them. Does this sound like the behavior of a man in control of his life, or a man enslaved by someone else's whims? Seneca gave us a piercing truth. He who is greedy is always in want. When you are greedy for her scraps of attention, you will always be starving. You'll keep hoping for more, but she will never give it. Not because she can't, but because she doesn't want to. She has already shown you where you stand, on the sidelines of her life. And men who stay in the sidelines never win. Look at history's greatest leaders. Do you think Epictetus, though born a slave, would have accepted being someone's second choice in matters of dignity and self-respect? Do you think Alexander the Great paused his conquests, waiting for someone to decide if he was worth their time? Of course not. Men who achieve greatness never wait to be chosen. They choose themselves. Let me ask you something raw. Why are you fighting for a place in her life when she has already made it clear you're not her priority? Do you want to be remembered as the man who begged to be picked, or as the man who walked away, built himself, and became so powerful that others regretted overlooking him? When a woman treats you like an option, the Stoic path is clear. You do not complain, you do not beg, you do not rage. You recognize reality and act. Walking away is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength because it shows that your self-respect is non-negotiable. Here's the final shift you need. You are not an option, you are a man of value. If she cannot see that, it does not diminish your worth. It only reveals her blindness. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let her think you are foolish for walking away. Let her think you're cold or arrogant. None of that matters, because in time, when she sees you rise, she will realize the truth. You were never an option. You were the standard. So remember this. The man who refuses to be an option will always become a priority in his own life. And that is where true freedom begins. Men, if a woman isn't interested in you, she will show it. Not with grand speeches, but with silence, excuses, disinterest, disrespect, and treating you like an option. The signs are never hidden. You just choose to ignore them. But the greatest tragedy is not that she isn't interested. The greatest tragedy is that too many men throw away their self-respect, trying to convince her otherwise. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." Stop wasting time debating her feelings. Start focusing on becoming the man who doesn't beg for love, but commands respect through his presence, his discipline, and his purpose. The Stoics taught that freedom is not found in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. That is the essence of true masculinity. You cannot force attraction, but you can control how you respond to rejection. Will you cling to someone who doesn't value you, or will you stand tall, walk away, and invest in your own growth? That decision defines everything. So here is my final challenge. The next time a woman shows you she isn't interested, don't chase, don't beg, don't argue. Thank her in silence, because she has just freed you to find someone who truly sees your worth. And more importantly, she has given you the chance to rediscover yourself. Subscribe to Calma Rationale for more wisdom, because this is only the beginning. Come back next time, and we'll go even deeper into what it means to be a man of strength, self-respect, and unshakable clarity.